Ozonics Killerwinds podcast back again. Nuke, me. Let's do this.
Let's roll.
Man, Nick told me something right before we started that I was really disappointed about. I have to be more specific about Nick's editing choices. I just realized because there was a really funny thing in the podcast that Nick edited out last week. Gosh, it was funny. I can't believe you edited it out.
Yeah.
Oh, it was awesome. I really like my high voice on here. I like to go to the high voice. And Nick was talking about his kit, he called it. And I just think it's funny when I hear people say that word for some reason. So I went on this little tangent with the high voice talking about your kit. And he took the whole thing out just because he didn't like it. Because I was giving him a hard time.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yep.
That was magic right there. That was gold. And
Yeah.
you just nixed it. You're probably going to nix this whole thing.
We'll see.
No, I'm not going to let you see because I have the power. So I'm going to say you can't nix any of this. So what are we talking about today?
Today we're talking a little bit about shows, what we got coming up for the shows, and then Cole is going to talk all about all the shows he's been to in the what, 10 years now?
9 years. 10 years. It'll be 10 years in August.
9 years. Yep.
Yep.
So yeah, it should be good little episode. We'll talk a little bit about what we've been doing recently in the deer woods.
How about we start with that? Go into that first. Let's do that.
Yeah, so obviously with show season coming up, we you're on the road a lot, and the time that you're not on the road, you want to be spending it with family, whatever. So we actually ended up pulling our cameras, which is kind of funny because we just talked about how like leaving cameras out, but we were just looking at the calendar and it's like, man, you know what?
Don't do it now. It'll be like in February.
Yeah, so we went and pulled them quick. Just pulled them all down, and then I took them all, pulled all the batteries out, got them all airing out, and no batteries in them and stuff like that, just getting ready for when we put them back out for turkey season. But it was kind of fun. Cole's got a couple cameras that they don't send videos, which we just figured they don't take video, but...
Well, it's like I have some reveals that were like the original reveals before it was the 2.0, 3.0. They're just like the reveal cameras.
Yeah.
And they just took pictures.
Yeah.
And then they came out with like pictures and video or like ones that just did video or whatever. And these ones must be somewhere in the mix of that. They're like 2.0s or something like that.
Yeah, I think yours are I want to say yours is the reveal 2.0 because Zip has a Tacticam that's older than the ones that you got. It's a completely different look.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Zip's is the original and yours must be the second one.
Yeah. And I think I should restate, I had some of the originals. They got, like I had them down in Southern Iowa. One got stomped by a cow. You know what I mean? Like they've just broken. Yeah. One got invaded by ants.
Yeah, it happens, man.
Yeah, and just like grilled the inside. Because I used to have like 7, and I think now I only have 4.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's 4, yeah.
Yep. Anyway.
Yeah. But there was one specific spot that we had one of those older Tacticams on that wouldn't send videos, but obviously still take great pictures. So I pulled the SD card because I wanted to get some of the HD pictures of Skinny Pete and Brutus walked by a couple times. I just wanted to grab the HDs while I popped the card in, and sure enough, there was video with it. And funny, it's just 6-second videos, but it's pretty wild what 6 seconds of video can actually give you.
Well, the context it can give you for sure.
Yeah, because I mean, there was a couple bucks that we knew was a nice buck that walked by, but just the one picture didn't tell you much. And then you look at 6 seconds of video of them standing there, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, that's a nice buck.
Yeah, I feel like the thing I wish I would have known. I guess I didn't really even realize I did that. Knowing now, I definitely probably will pull cards and just check. You know what I mean? Just to see what's on there for what buck it is. Because like I said, the 6 seconds of video helped us realize that Zombie was probably our number one biggest buck of the year, bigger than Brutus.
Sweet video of him walking by. And you just tell he's an old deer and really good mass. He kind of got it all, really.
Yep. So yeah, like I said, it was just kind of interesting. Like I said, it's kind of a bittersweet day to take cameras down. That kind of sucks. You go out there like, well, we can't hunt anymore. You know what I mean? But again, nice to be able to get a look at some of them a little bit more, and a lot of potential for next year.
definitely
Really,
a lot
really,
of
it'll be
potential.
really, really interesting. See
Yep.
how that all works out.
Yep. But then we went for, I had to take some pictures and stuff like that. And so, we were out there and we were just like, oh, when we go grab this last camera, let's just kind of take a loop around and found some pretty good stuff that we had. I guess I haven't walked through it ever.
Yep.
But definitely seemed like a major bedding area type spot. Saw a lot of sign, a lot of deer poop everywhere, rubs, and just felt like a good spot where they're probably bedding. And
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it kind of was what I thought it was. It was just I had never really gone in there. I'd hunted really, really close to that years back, and it was funny. It was actually right in the peak of the rut, and I actually came in from the south. There's a house right near there, so you can kind of sneak in. You don't have to get very far. It was a really good north wind, so I'm like, oh, I can just get on the top of this ridge and just kind of see. And literally, I got into the stand and I could hear the bucks grunting in the bottom. I'm like, gosh, that was a buck grunt for sure. I'm like, at first I was like, is that what I heard? But it definitely was.
Yeah.
And sure enough, they just came right up and just came right over, moved by me, and then went back down. And so, yeah, it was just interesting to kind of put some eyes on it. It's weird because it feels, comparatively to the rest of it, not where you would initially think to go, because it's really close to the road.
Yeah.
Closer to the road than all the rest of it. And I like to be in spots where I don't have to look at cars all the time, or
Right.
guys stopping. It seems like that's what everybody does. And we do it too, right? Oh, what was that in the ditch? You stop and look, and so, yeah, it's an interesting spot. I feel like what it'll turn into is a spot that I'll try to hunt during the peak of the rut. I'll probably leave it be, put cameras in there, be really interesting to know and be able to kind of see what may be coming in and coming out. But I think it's not a spot you hunt until the rut. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I
it's
would agree.
when they lock down and everything gets real hard. And, and we've talked a lot about this too. Peak of the rut, when it locks down, however you can get close to a bedding area without bumping deer, that's a spot that you can get close to a bedding area without bumping them, hopefully on the right wind. There's actually some pretty cool little 2 tracks that look like they used to be driven on, like by a tractor or a 4-wheeler, that were really cut in at one point. I mean, it's literally they're cut right into the side of the hill. The hill comes down, it flattens off, then it drops again. There's a fence line along the edge. It almost looks like at some time that must have been cow pasture. He must have had cows out there.
Yeah.
At some point, because why would you have all those fences like in the woods like that? And so, or sheep or something that rummaged through there. You know what I mean? Now all those fences are kind of like really, they've gotten beat down by the weather over the years. They're all laid over, but the 2 tracks are still there. And I mean, there's just some highways in there right now that are just iced over. They've been walked on so much. They're just hardened ice and snow.
Yeah.
And that's all we really have left right now out there. Is there's not much snow left here.
Yeah.
North central Iowa and really all of Iowa, it's getting to be pretty sparse.
Yeah.
If you get much south of here, ain't hardly nothing left.
No.
Now we got a little bit of a dusting.
Yeah.
Like, we get like an inch last night.
Probably an inch,
Yeah.
I would guess.
But yeah, it was just interesting to really look at it. And there's a couple spots in there where we found a really, really nice scrape that's like, okay, they're definitely using this. So I'll be putting cameras on stuff like that and then just trying to kind of see what we can see. Yeah, it'll be really, really interesting.
Yeah.
And like you said, that's kind of like, I feel like for me, that's really what this off season is going to be, is how can I look at pieces like that? And again, proximity of where cameras are, where stands are, and where am I not covering it? Like, what am I missing? Where are they going? How are they skirting me? And I think that's kind of some of it I think that spot is really going to shed light on that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
No question. Yep. Yeah, it was cool to be in there. Definitely sweet.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And like I said, sucks to take cameras out, but I'll tell you what, this year's been nice. I've taken cameras out and I've taken stands out in crummy weather.
Yeah.
I trudged through knee-high, waist-high snow, had to pull a sled behind me just to be able to try to get it out of there, things out of there. So when you can walk out there and you're not absolutely freezing and you're not absolutely just trudging through snow and trying to keep your hands warm, it's a pretty nice year.
Yeah, for sure.
It's been pretty nice in that regard for that.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, yesterday was a beautiful day, really. I mean, it was pretty cold, but, I mean, definitely bearable. It was easy being out there.
Okay, so let's talk about consumer shows. What do we have on the docket for this year? We've got 4 shows that we're going to this year. We've done 3 shows the last how many years, but this year we're doing 4. So we're doing Harrisburg Great American Outdoor Show. We're actually throwing one in there now. We're doing Dixie Deer Classic. We're going to Iowa Deer Classic, and then we're doing the Wisconsin Open Season Sportsman's Expo. That name is way too long. They used to call them the Deer and Turkey Expos. That was the way to do it. But now they're trying to open it up to more, and so they call it this big long name.
Yeah.
But yeah, so basically we go to Great American Outdoor Show the 7th through the 15th in Pennsylvania. Then there's a weekend between Harrisburg and Dixie. And then usually Iowa and Dixie line up. Well, I shouldn't say that. Sometimes they line up, sometimes they don't. This year, they don't line up, which is nice, so we can actually do it.
Yeah.
On years they don't line up, it's a choice we have to make, and obviously we pick Iowa. But so on years they don't line up, like this year, it's like, oh, let's try it. So we're doing Dixie. That's the weekend before Iowa. So Dixie's like the last weekend in February, beginning of March. And then Iowa's the first full weekend in March. Then we get a couple weekends, and then we do the Wisconsin show. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. The show season's always a fun time of year. It's always a kind of a tug and war for us. Like, it's hard to be gone, especially the winter, and to be away from families and snow and shoveling and just everything that the weather, the things that it can make harder. But it is super encouraging when we are at the shows to be able to talk to people and just talk to them about ozonics and hear their stories and help try to educate them, just build relationships with people. That's a part that kind of carries me through on the shows, because it can get to be long days.
Very long days.
Yeah.
Very long.
So yeah, like you said, 4 of them that we're doing will be in the archery room at Harrisburg. And then they've got 2 rooms at Dixie will be in the main hall at Dixie, the main hall at the Iowa Deer Classic, and then I don't even know what they call it, Wisconsin, the main hall in Wisconsin too.
Yeah.
Because they've got some smaller rooms.
Smaller ones, yeah.
But yeah, no, so it's good. Like you said, for us, there's tons and tons of shows out there. It's insane if you really start to look at it.
Yeah.
There's actually there's some websites now where people have made different lists of hunting websites. There's a lot of them. If you want to go out, if you were whether a manufacturer or you've got some sort of service that you're selling, or you're just wanting to go to shows, you can go to shows every weekend from beginning of January through August.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy. There's so many.
Yeah.
But for us, it's really, especially ozonics, obviously our bread and butter is the whitetail category. And those are the ones that really lend itself for us.
Yes.
You know, there's some other really good ones that kind of are like honorable mentions that we've gone to in past, and it's just a logistics, scheduling, time gone, where do we go, what do we do? The Indiana show, that's always a really good show. The other big one that, again, it's funny because I've heard people say, it's like, oh, well, like, and I'll just say it, NWTF. People go, oh, well, NWTF, that's turkey hunting. Yeah, but every turkey hunter is a deer hunter.
Exactly.
I mean, they all are. And so that's a really good show. You know, from the whitetail side of things, Minnesota has a nice show up there. The Iowa Deer Classic is trying to get going and they're calling it the Illinois Deer Classic. You know, there's a show in Ohio. You know, so there's other shows out there, and we've done more of like these more kind of whitetail catered shows.
Yes. That's
usually the whitetail crowd. But again, we're doing 4 this year, so it'll be interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited, and I think it's going to be fun to do. Every year that I've been here, I've just done the same 3 shows, Harrisburg, Iowa, and Wisconsin. So it'll be fun to see a new place, see new people and stuff. I'm excited for Dixie.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, Dixie Deer Classic, that's cool. Like they have this Dixie Deer Club, I think is what it's called. That's who puts on the Dixie Deer Classic. It's like a group that, you know, obviously they're really passionate whitetail hunters. So that's a really cool thing. Those guys are always, when I've done that show before, they're always super nice, helping in any way that they can. And they draw a really good crowd. And that's, I think, the thing for us too is we're always trying to figure out how do we get to be in front of a different group of people. Harrisburg is a different group. Iowa is a different group. Wisconsin is a different group too.
Yeah.
Some people go to Iowa, but it's a different group.
Yeah.
And Dixie Deer Classic is a different group. You know, so it's nice to be able to kind of spread it out. You know, like for example, but like NWTF kind of becomes like a melting pot of a lot of different ones.
Yeah.
Harrisburg becomes a melting pot of a lot of different ones too. You know, there's shows in like New York right before the Harrisburg show, but those guys end up going to Harrisburg too. So it's like that's where it works out for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it'll really be interesting. Harrisburg's 9 days, Dixie, Iowa, and Wisconsin are all 3.
Yeah.
So that's, you know, yeah, it's nice. I mean, and that's the other thing about Harrisburg is you kind of almost get 3 in 1 just with that
Literally.
alone. So it's technically 4, but if you didn't go to Harrisburg and you tried to make up for it, you'd have to go to 3.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a big difference with that too.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that Harrisburg show is really something to see. I mean, it's just crazy. I mean, the amount of different vendors from all different categories and ways of life, whether it be fishing, camping, rifles, archery, you know.
Yeah, it's crazy.
All there, man. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, the first time before I went to Harrisburg, I heard people tell me like, "Oh, you don't understand. Like, there's just rooms that are just this or just that." I'm like, "Oh, okay, rooms." Like, "Oh, okay, well, we'll see." And it's hard to describe. You know, if you've ever been to a normal consumer show, normal consumer shows like the Iowa Deer Classic or whatever it might be, even, you know, like NWTF or Western Sportsman's Expo, you can fit a lot of those shows in not even probably a third of Harrisburg.
Yeah.
Or maybe, you know what I'm saying? Even half on the high end, half of it that's just half of what Harrisburg is.
Yeah.
I mean, they have just a room that's just all rifle tactical. That's all it is. They have a room that's just archery. That's all it is. A room, arguably one of the biggest rooms, is the outfitter room. That's all it is.
Huge.
It's just outfitters. Outfitters and taxidermists.
Yeah.
And it's not even that many taxidermists. It's like they're kind of showcasing. But it's crazy. And then they've got multiple hunting rooms that are everything else hunting, whether it's clothing, predator calls, goose calls. They've got a fishing room. It's hard to even wrap your mind around. It's kind of interesting how Harrisburg, well, actually, that Harrisburg shows at the Pennsylvania State Fairgrounds. So if you've ever been to the Iowa State Fairgrounds, the Iowa State Fairgrounds has a commercial building, but it's just one building that's one building, and it just kind of sits by itself. It's not connected. But that's the interesting thing that they've done at Harrisburg is all these buildings are connected, which is just bizarre. I mean, how they've got these big, long hallways, and if you were to, you know, and we're going to find out, if you were to, you know, walk it from one end to the other.
Through every aisle.
Well, not even every aisle. If you just took the length of it from one to the other and the width of it from side to side, it's way longer than it is wide, but it's a mile at least.
Yeah.
To walk from one side to the other. I mean, it's a long ways.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it is.
How big it is. I mean, if you're like, I'm way on the outfitter side, I'll meet you I'll meet you at the rifle door. If you just walk the state pace, it's going to take you 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, it's a ways.
Yeah, it's a long ways.
It's just insane how big it is.
Out of all the shows you've been to, what's number 2 size-wise?
Number 2 size-wise?
Yes.
Well, you know, that's the interesting thing because, like, the shows, before we get into that, I would say the biggest show out there, but I've never been to it, I've heard, is SHOT Show.
Okay.
Yeah, because that's so much, everybody comes from all over the world. That's the main ammunition guns show of the world, right? Like there's areas of the SHOT Show that are ID access only, government ID access only.
Really?
Oh yeah, dude. That's where like all the government, when they like, oh, we're gonna go buy machine guns today, that's where they go. I mean, it's
That's crazy.
Yeah, they have like restricted access. Like you just can't walk around. Like, oh no. You just can't. Like, oh no, this is. Yeah, I've never been, but I've heard it's absolutely insane.
So was it even really an outdoor show?
Yeah. Okay. I mean, it's from a rifle tactical perspective, that's the main one.
Yeah.
The SHOT Show.
Okay.
You know, So that's probably in the hunting industry by far. But again, it's not even really it's not and that's the other distinction. That's not even really a consumer show. It's a trade show, right? It's meant to be for dealers to buy stuff and then they sell it to the consumers, where all what we're describing is consumer show. So I'm kind of getting it, I'm muddying the water here, but Harrisburg is definitely number one, biggest. Number two, I got a list of the ones I've been to here, the ones that we've done over the years.
Yeah.
Oh, you know, ironically, I guess not ironically, but I guess I would say the number two that is pretty dang big is Alabama World Deer Expo.
Really?
That's a big show.
And that one's in the summer, isn't it?
Yep. So they have 2 rooms. They have one room that's the size of the Iowa Deer Classic, and they have another room that's 2/3 the size of the Iowa Deer Classic. And it's wild because it's like on 2 levels, and there's like an escalator that goes between. That is a big show. There's a lot of people in that one. That's pretty big.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the tricky thing too, is like but that's the other thing about it too, is like, and again, I feel like I've gone to enough shows over the years. There's a difference. You can have a big place and have it not very full.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah,
like,
for sure.
For example, and like last year, a buddy of mine and I went to just because we were wanting to, you know, spend some time together and like just hang out and like it'd be a fun weekend. I went to Reno to the Wild Sheep Foundation, the Wild Sheep Show in Reno. That's in a big place. This Reno Event Center, Convention Center, it's big. It's shaped as a big L. And you're like, wow, look at this place. It's big. Wasn't all the way full, right? The one section was really full and the other section was like half full.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, it's a big building, but if it's not full wall to wall.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing too that you can always tell when you're at shows is how big are the aisles.
Yeah, true. Because you could stack them in way more.
You can really squeeze them in if you have to. If the aisles are really, really wide, oh, wow, look at these aisles. You could drive a semi-truck down this. Well, that would lend to tell you that there's not a whole lot of vendors.
Yeah.
If they've got the aisles where literally you're like 3 or 4 people across and you can't fit anymore, and it's chuck full wall to wall, then that's a big show. And that's why, look at Harrisburg.
It gets crazy.
Could they fit another aisle?
There's no way.
The archery hall, those aisles are a little bit bigger.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say a little bigger.
But they're bigger because like you couldn't, from a dimensional perspective, you probably couldn't get another 10 foot.
I don't think so.
So they just make them what they are. But like, look at the rifle room.
Yeah.
That's, you know.
That's pretty tight in there too. It's all pretty tight.
Pretty
I mean, even those like other rooms that are.
And honestly, but that's the interesting thing too. I would say it feels tight, but the rifle room is probably more spaced out than it used to be.
Really?
Oh yeah. When you go to shows and you see a bunch of trucks and you see a bunch of tractors and things like that are taking up 60 by 100 feet in the corner, why are they doing that?
Fill up space.
They're filling up space. It doesn't look good when the show looks empty.
Right.
It doesn't look good when there's empty spots walking down the aisle. So they squeeze everybody in, put the empties on the edges.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's funny, like, again, I feel like that's the type of kind of stuff that you don't really realize if you're just walking around the show, like, oh wow, look at this. And you kind of blinded and don't see that part. But when I go to the shows, that's what I look for. I'm like walking around like, okay, you know, and gosh, where were we at a couple years ago that people started leaving during the show? Was that Harrisburg that one year? Well, no, that was at Ohio that one year.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I wasn't at that show.
Oh, yeah. There's been a couple where they had really rough weekends, weather. There's so many things that can play into it. And it was a rough weekend and people started leaving.
Yeah.
Like Sunday, like Saturday night, people are packing up their booth and they're like, yeah, I'm out of here. Sunday morning at 10 o'clock, like, yep, we're going. Like, this is not a waste of our time. And so that can be a rough look.
Yeah.
And so the promoters don't like that. So they try to squeeze everybody in, right? They want to, but yeah, so Alabama World Deer Expo, that's a big one. That was a big one. Man, from there, you know, NWTF just keeps getting bigger and bigger. That's one that they absolutely stack people in from a vendor perspective. If you don't rebook your spot while you're at the show, you can't get in. You know, I had heard people talk about NWTF and how awesome it is and how many people are there. And yeah, that one is just insane.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, the one year that we did it, I had to go to the bathroom and it took me 20, 25 minutes to go to the bathroom and come back. That's how bad the crowd was. You couldn't get through.
Jeez.
If you're claustrophobic,
Don't go.
Don't go to that one. That one is insane.
Yeah.
Wall to wall, just elbow to elbow, shoulder to shoulder. That one's insane.
Yeah. I think if there's one show that I'd really love to go to, it's probably that one.
Oh yeah. I really, really like that show. I would, if this year is hard because it overlaps with Harrisburg, and it's going to be interesting to see from a vendor perspective at Harrisburg who isn't there, because there's vendors that go to Harrisburg and then just jump right down to Nashville. Well, you can't do that now, so you're going to have 2 booths, or you had to choose, and for some of them, I'm sure they chose NWTF.
Yeah, especially in that there's a couple of rooms that's a lot of turkey hunting, and
It'd be really interesting to see if that's like. I think there's going to be a lot of other stuff in there this year.
Yeah.
But yeah, if and we're trying to work on that now. Like if NWTF and Harrisburg doesn't overlap, we would love to do both. It's hard to get into, and we went for a handful of years, and then and that's the kind of the risk from a vendor perspective is you take a year off, you lose your spot.
Yeah.
And that's what we did. We took a year off, we lost our spot, and now you kind of start over. The other thing I'll say about NWTF, one, it's an awesome show. And here's the other thing. And this is what I think makes NWTF so powerful. And this is also what I think makes the other shows a bit trickier. NWTF is right on the cusp of turkey season. There's guys that leave there and go to Florida.
Yeah.
They go to wherever they go. That's right when it all starts.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody is at a fever pitch.
Ready to roll.
Ready to go. And they do all their world championship calling tournament thing there and all of it. Everybody is just at a fever pitch and ready to start turkey hunting. And I am no different. I'm ready to start turkey hunting too. When I'm at the shows in general and I see turkey hunting booths and I see turkey calls, I'm like mosquito on a mosquito catcher. I just get sucked right in.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking turkey hunting. So that's what's so nice about NWTF is they're right before it starts.
Mm-hmm.
The hard thing about everybody else, especially on the whitetail side of things, the season's over. The season's 9 months away.
Right.
So obviously they're consumer shows and everybody's there to help to try to sell stuff, right? But we're also there to just connect and talk and have a person have an opportunity to put hands on what we're trying to do and see it. But again, on the buying side, it's 9 months away. You go, oh well, I got some time.
Like kind of on the back burner almost.
Yep. We're selling Christmas lights after Christmas, right?
Yeah.
Like you're not thinking about the 4th of July in December. You're thinking about the 4th of July in June and July.
Yeah.
And so, I think that's always the tricky part. And there are shows that have realized that and cater more towards getting closer to season. And that's, like it's interesting because you talk about, and I was just looking at the list of some that we've done before. World Deer Expo, perfect example. When is that? July. Well, July, what are we all doing? We're all getting our trail cameras out.
Yeah.
We're all starting to get an understanding of what bucks we're looking at, we're chasing.
Yeah.
And then go ahead.
Turkey season's well wrapped up.
Now turkey season's behind you, not in front of us. Now turkey season's gone. Now what's the next season? Deer hunting. So like the World Deer Expo they really capitalize on that. Deer Fest, that's a thing that they have in Wisconsin.
Oh yeah.
They've capitalized on that. You know what I mean? That's their shows in August. All the Texas Trophy Hunter shows. They do these Texas Trophy Hunter extravaganzas. They have them in Houston and Dallas and San Antonio. There's a couple other ones. They have I think 5 or 6 of them. Those are always in mid-August. So those really capitalize on getting right before season starts, So, it's really interesting. So, but the other thing of it is it's the other thing to think about if you're just going to the shows that I think a lot of people don't realize, what is everybody getting in the wintertime? What does everybody get in the wintertime between January and April? Tax return.
Yeah.
You get tax return. Get a tax return. Everybody gets, some people get tax returns. Some people don't, depending on how you do your business. But if you get a tax return, then you got some hot money in your pocket, right? Burning a hole, baby.
Spend it up.
Let's spend it. And so that's the other part about it too. There's all these trade shows and garden shows and home shows and all this stuff, consumer shows in all these different industries in the wintertime, because guess what? People maybe have a little extra cash.
Exactly.
And so that's the other part about it too.
Yeah.
By the time the shows come that the guys have in the summertime, that cash is long gone.
Yeah.
So that's the other piece about it too. And from an outfitter perspective, it's hard to do outfitted consumer shows in August.
Yeah.
Especially if you're trying to do big game hunts when everything is right around the corner. Their downtime is in the wintertime.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense? So
Yeah.
there's it's the shows are where they are for a specific reason for everybody to get together.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of more of the downtime for the hunting world.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? And so it's a downtime for the buying world. You know, like wintertime isn't our busiest time of year for everybody. So it's when you would kind of feel like you're stealing from Peter to give to Paul if you go to the shows, if you did the shows in the fall, you know, so it makes sense when they are.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've done a pile of them. It's crazy to think and look back at all the different states. I mean, it's insane. To even go through it. Indiana, Iowa, Ohio, Wisconsin, Saskatchewan, Alabama, Illinois, Wisconsin, Kentucky, Pennsylvania, Michigan, North Carolina, Minnesota, Alabama. Did I say Texas? Texas. We did a bunch of Texases there for a while. Texas, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Iowa, Michigan, Ohio, Wisconsin, Saskatchewan, Texas, Wisconsin, Texas, Ohio, New York, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Indiana, North Carolina, Iowa, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Iowa, Ohio, Wisconsin, Illinois, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Iowa, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Iowa, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Iowa, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Wisconsin, Iowa. It's crazy. I mean, all over the map.
So what's the total number you've been to?
So since I've been at Ozonics, I started Ozonics on August 15th of 2016. And what I've been a part of is there's 62 consumer shows that we've gone to in that since 2017. With that as well, isn't on here, as we did the ATA in 2017, so that's 63.
63.
I've been a part of all but 5 of those. I logistically helped plan all of them, but 5 of them I couldn't be at 2 places at once, and that's what it was.
It's insane when you really think about it.
Yeah, so it's a lot.
Yeah.
You know, some of the crazy ones that we went to that are kind of bizarre, not bizarre, but just like, you know, there was one year we did 16 consumer shows between January and August. That was a lot.
That's so much.
Yeah, dude. And that was in 2018. At home, I had Tatum, me and my wife, and then Mia, Bo, and Jet was only 2 or 3, and she was pregnant with Finn.
Busy
And here I am just gone, traveling all over Tarnation. But, you know, we did like some obscure ones that you would never even think about. In Parkland, Saskatchewan, there's a show there that's it's little comparatively to like all these others, but it's a hunting show that they have there that's really like catered towards whitetail hunters, obviously that Canadian whitetail hunter. Done that one a couple times. That one logistically gets to be real tricky because you're going into Canada and you're selling in Canada, and like all the tax whatever I'm trying to say, it's complicated. It makes it hard. And getting over the border, and you got product and like all this stuff, and that was a nightmare.
Did they have to go through like everything basically?
Yeah, and what are you gonna sell, and blah 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 blah, and all this stuff. That was interesting. Yeah, and like it's funny because like you think that like the United States and Canada, it's like there's just an imaginary line, but it's different.
Yeah.
It's a different place.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's a different world, I think. But you know, and in some places you would say it feels very the same, like when you're out in the middle of nowhere and you're hunting, but like when you're dealing with like all those types of things you have to get there with, it's much different.
Yeah.
You know, we did a show in Florida one time. We did a show in Florida in the summertime. It was so hot. We can't show the pictures because we'd have to censor them, but there's pictures of us without our shirts on. It was like 110 degrees, so blazing hot, just sweating like crazy.
Well,
and it wasn't even a very well attended show. We like drove all the way down there and did it, and it was like not even that good. And It definitely wasn't worth the trip.
Is that the longest drive that you've done to get to a show?
Well, the thing of it is that's the thing about it too. Like logistically, is you try not to just deadhead all the way to one and all the way back, and that's why from my perspective, what we do works. You know, Dixie doesn't make sense, or it's harder to make sense from a travel cost perspective if you're just going all the way down to Dixie Deer Classic.
Yeah.
But we're already 2/3 of the way there because we're going to Harrisburg, right?
Yep.
And that's why, like, if you're already going to Harrisburg, then Dixie's not that far away. Or if you're already in Harrisburg, then going to Nashville, that's just
Not
right
that
on the way
far
back.
away.
Or if you're going to Harrisburg, coming back to go through Indiana is right on the way back.
Yeah.
So it kind of feels like all of a sudden you kind of feel like a truck driver, like, oh, you want to drop, you've got your whatever is on your trailer and you're trying to, get that, dumped. Then you're okay. I don't want to deadhead back. And so that's kind of what we're doing too. It's nice because we're already in Harrisburg, so Dixie makes sense.
Yeah.
But if we were just to go just all the way to Florida, that doesn't make sense. The thing of it is the time that we did Florida, we had done other shows right in a row. Yeah, because there was a show in Houston. We did Birmingham, Alabama right before that. So we were already in Alabama. And then we had a little bit of time, and then we went to Florida.
Got it.
Does that make sense? Like,
Yep.
Then it makes more sense. But again, then it was a deadhead all the way back from Florida. That was bad. That was a couple-day drive. Yeah.
So that has to be your longest then.
From
Longest one drive, whether it be there or back, distant wise, it's got to be that Florida show.
Yep.
Or maybe
Florida's-
Saskatchewan. How far was that?
No, Saskatchewan wasn't that. Saskatchewan was far, but I think Florida was farther.
Yeah.
Yeah. Florida was far. Even going to Dixie this year, that's a pretty far drive.
Yeah, coming
You
back.
could, and that's the other trick about it too is like the way I would drive personally and the way I would drive commercially or at Ozonics is different. When I drive myself, jump in the truck, how far is the drive? 17 hours? Yeah, I can make that work. I used to drive from Iowa to Colorado, leave at 4 a.m. and get there by 10 o'clock at night. And I would do that. Or I would leave at 10 o'clock at night and drive all through the night and get home by the afternoon the next day
Yeah.
to get home. That was the way it was. And that's the way if I have to do something, that's just the way I would do it. But if I'm driving for Ozonics, I'm not going to risk it for the biscuit,
Right.
So I'm going to be more careful. And that's like even Dixie, that'll be a 2-day drive back.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll leave Raleigh, North Carolina, and then we'll try to find someplace halfway.
Yeah.
And that's the other big thing about these two is so much is dictated by not only travel, but how the show is attended by weather.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny because what you would think is you don't want bad weather. And you're right, you don't want bad weather for traveling. But weather for the show can be good. It's funny because you don't want nice weather and you don't want bad weather, but you want some sort of weather, which sounds really silly.
Yeah.
You don't want sunny day because sunny day in the springtime means everybody's going to be doing either yard work or shed hunting.
Yeah, exactly.
Or just fishing or something. They're going to make an excuse not to go. They don't want to go inside. It's nice outside.
Golfing, maybe.
There you go, whatever it might be. And if it's terrible snowy snowstorm, people aren't going to show up because the weather's too bad. The roads are terrible. Man, let's just wait. I don't know if I want to risk it. So they don't show up at all. What's great is cloudy days, rainy days, snow, but not too much snow. If we have some sort of weather, that really packs them in because everybody goes, well, what else we got to do? Let's go. Let's go to the show today.
Yeah.
I'm not going to, especially in Iowa. Iowa can be really tricky for that. If it's nice out,
Yeah.
and if it's really nice out or if it's a cloudy day, everybody's going to be shed hunting.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a lot of guys like, oh, yeah, I ain't going to go. I got stuff to do. If it's rainy and snowy, but not like a blizzard, then the Iowa Deer Classic will be packed.
Yeah, the last couple of years, I remember the last day of Iowa when we get all packed up and we're standing outside just getting ready to head back north. I just remember those days just been just like, wow, so nice out.
Yeah, and then I remember one year that it was single digits. And the thing about the Iowa Deer Classic is they have these big doors on the one end that everybody comes in and out. Well, they just leave the doors open.
As you're packing up. And
Oh, yeah. And the minute the show's over, the venue, they click that heat right off. Oh, yep, show's over, heat off. And so that place was freezing. I remember we were all in all of our winter stuff, like all the stuff we brought, gloves on, trying to tear down the booth. It was freezing in there. And you could just feel that cold air just rush in. And I get it too, right? You're not going to keep up with it. That the HVAC system would just be on fire trying to keep up.
Those
It's
doors
huge
are
doors.
huge.
Yeah. We did NWTF one year, and it was absolutely just pissing rain. I mean, just absolutely just downpouring. Had to take it out this door and go across this thing, and it was downpouring. Everything got completely soaked. You know, there's been some like that, and that happens. I mean, gosh, what year was that? Was that 2022, whatever year it was, because there was a gap in the year because of COVID. 2021 was a gap. So 2022, I drove through a snowstorm from Iowa to Columbus, Ohio. I should have been able to get from Iowa to Columbus. That would be a good day drive. And then from Columbus to Pennsylvania is not near as bad. I got from Mason City to Champaign, Illinois in 10 hours. That's how long it took me. I was driving 30 miles an hour. Scott Elrod, if you're listening, I'm really sorry. He was like, don't go. And I'm like, if we don't leave right now, we're never going to make it. Like, I'll never make it. And there was guys, I remember talking guys from Tacticam that they left after I did from Iowa, and they drove like seriously like 30 miles an hour all day, all night, all day, just to get there so they could set up. And they're like, we didn't know if we were going to make it if we didn't keep driving. So they just kept going. So then weather becomes a huge part of like how you get where you're going.
Yeah.
And again, and some, most likely not somebody listening to this, but if somebody would listen to this, they're like, oh yeah, I go to shows, and that's why I don't drive. I fly. Well, that's the other part about it too. Flying is great, but then how do you get your booth there, right?
Exactly.
So then you got to pay a truck company to truck your booth all around.
Yeah.
Like, so then it's like, so we're trying to figure out how to, like not have the expenses go through the roof. And so we drive it. And so then how we get where we're going based on the weather becomes a huge thing.
Yeah.
Cause that was the crazy thing is I drove through that snowstorm. It was absolutely terrible through Indianapolis, got to Columbus, and I knew I had to keep going because I was behind. So then I went south into West Virginia, Jamestown, West Virginia, which I didn't even know that. I'm pretty sure that's the name of the town. Jamestown. Maybe that's not it. Wherever West Virginia University is,
I think it is Jamestown.
Yeah, that's where I was, which ironically, that's where Pat McAfee went to college.
Yes.
Yep. Jamestown wasn't what I expected. It's like a town built on a hill, a lot of hills. There's all these hills. I remember all these hills. There's like houses all over these hills. So of course I was there and I got to my hotel. I'm like, I go drive by this football stadium just for the heck of it. So I did. I drove right by. I'm like, hey, look at there, West Virginia. But you get far enough south and then it went from snow to rain, and you get above freezing and then you're good again.
Mm-hmm.
And so like that's I think the big thing is like where is the temperature change?
Yeah, exactly.
And what's the weather doing? And so yeah, it's always a real trick on the travel. And then again, what does the weather do for the show, and how does it react?
Yeah.
Some unique shows we've done over the years too. Northeast Ohio Sportsman Show, that's in Mount Hope, Ohio. There is a very prominent Amish community in that part of Ohio.
Okay.
And it is a ton of Amish people. I mean, I don't say that in any way like there's anything wrong with that. It's just like when you walk in and everybody's wearing black, what they wear, blue jean and a black hat or straw hat, like, okay, like we're not wearing straw hats. Like most people aren't wearing a straw hat or a black hat. Like you walk in, you're like, oh, there's a lot of Amish people here. And that is a Amish show. It is like Amish. There's a lot of Amish people that go to Harrisburg. Yeah. That's a big Amish community out of Lancaster and all that area. And so we always see a lot of Amish people, and there's, a lot of the Amish people or Mennonite or whatever. I don't know all of them or whatever. I'm not trying to be very respectful here. I'm not, hope I'm saying this in a way that I don't mean anything towards that. I'm just saying like, it is what it is, right? Like, I don't think they're ashamed that they're Amish.
No, not at all.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, there's a lot of people there that, you see there that are avid Ozonics users. You can also always tell when there's Amish people because they get drawn into the TV like a mosquito catcher.
Yeah.
It stops them in their tracks.
Yeah, it
They don't
really
have
does.
TVs.
Yeah.
So they really like looking at the TV. We get a lot of people that really gawk at the TV, especially the kids.
Yeah, for
They
sure.
just sit there with their like mouth open, and just
Yeah.
sit there like, whoa. But yeah, that Northeast Ohio show was a pretty wild one. Yeah, then like I said, Yorkton, Saskatchewan was kind of crazy. You know, the shows in the South, that's the other thing, like those Texas shows, Alabama shows, that's also kind of that, it's a different crowd.
Yeah.
It's a different crowd than the Midwest.
Mm-hmm.
It's a different crowd than the Northeast.
Yeah. Exactly.
If you were to say, what does a guy look like that walks around at the Southern shows? I don't know why this is the way it is, but they're always wearing Costa sunglasses, and they got these little wire things that go from their sunglasses around the back of their head.
Yeah, they're the little loops so they don't fall or whatever.
Yeah. And obviously a lot of mossy oak.
Yeah, that'd be
Mossy
interesting
oak
to see.
traditional camo. Man, oh man, that is like a way of life down there, and that's what they wear.
Will we see that at Dixie, do you think?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you'll definitely see the Costa sunglasses with the thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then also the other thing about the South too is like the pale colors, like the blues and
Baby
oranges.
blue and
yeah,
like-
and like the greens. You know what I'm saying?
It's gonna be really interesting.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know
Like
exactly
that
what you're talking
color,
about. It's like
and like a lot of like button down like shirts,
yeah.
like where we all wear like t-shirts. There's a lot of like button down shirts.
It's gonna be really interesting. I've never really been to that part of the world, honestly. Or
Yeah,
country, I should say.
It's yeah. I mean, you see that, yeah. Yeah, it's weird because like, again, I don't mean to be so like, and maybe I'm being very stereotypical here, but like, every show has kind of got its like thing. Harrisburg, if I were to describe Harrisburg in one word, it would be loud.
Yes.
Loud.
Yes.
You got to go there and just expect to have a really genuine conversation where a guy feels like he is yelling at you
Yes.
the entire time.
Yeah.
Or he's really mad at you when he's not,
Yeah.
but he's coming off like he is.
Yeah.
That is Pennsylvania Northeast.
Yep.
Iowa, if you were to wrap it up in one word, is obviously big whitetails, 16-ounce cans of beer,
Yeah.
big cans of beer.
Yep.
If you were to wrap up Wisconsin in one word or one sentence, it's
Party.
a party. Party. Bloody Marys at 7 o'clock in the morning.
Buckets of Busch Light.
Not one 16-ounce can of beer. Walking around with a bucket of beers
Yep.
with 3 or 4 buddies that, hey, Johnny, I bought the last round. Tell Tommy to go buy the next round.
Yeah.
Yeah. Make sure there's 2 beef sticks in my Bloody Mary, not just the celery,
And a pickle.
and a pickle, double pickles.
3 olives, not 2.
Yeah. That's Wisconsin. Party.
Yeah.
You know, if you said any show in the South, Mossy Oak, Costa sunglasses. Yeah, those are the big ones. Yeah, just the type of that. See, I think I could fit in with South. You see a lot of guys, and you see a lot of guys in the Midwest now too. But I felt like years ago, guys I used to do shows with, they always give me a hard time because I'm always wearing Carhartt pants.
Yeah.
A lot of Carhartt worn in the South too. You know what I mean?
Really?
Oh yeah, see, and I was like, see, look, they're wearing Carhartt too. You know, a lot of Carhartt
See?
pants. Yeah, but so that's kind of that. Yeah, it's interesting. You know, Indiana is funny because it doesn't feel like a party. Indiana doesn't feel like Mecca whitetail 16-ounce beers like Iowa. It doesn't feel loud like Pennsylvania. I've had different experiences in Indiana. Sometimes Indiana just feels a bit more just kind of like neutral.
Yeah, just kind of.
But
little
sometimes
pits
I've been to Indiana and it's felt kind of angry.
Really?
Yeah. Like I felt like it just feels like people are like,
Some tension.
yeah. I don't even know how to describe it. Michigan too. Feel that in Michigan. Michigan, I would say like passionate whitetail hunters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could see that.
I would say that about the South too. There's a lot of passion for whitetails in the
Yeah.
South. You know,
Well,
that's the other thing I'd say about all the South. Those in the South, they know more about Iowa and the zones and where you're at and what you're doing
Yeah.
They know a lot
Well, it's
because
funny.
because they're traveling to come do it.
Well, it's funny you say that because like when we hunted in Ohio this year, like every other person in camp was from Georgia, North Carolina,
Yeah.
which obviously isn't too terribly far of a drive, but
Yeah.
still, it was. I thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah. But yeah, there's definitely kind of a different vibe at the shows that we go to. Even in the year. It's crazy.
yeah,
It's just such a like if you just like genie in the bottle and zapped yourself from one to the next, it feels very different.
yeah,
There's just definitely a different vibe.
yeah. No, yeah, I'm excited to go to Dixie. Just something different. Cole's
Yeah.
been to 58 shows.
Yeah, I don't know, something in the 50s.
I got my. I'll be. In
Well,
double,
and that's just at
digits.
Ozonics. Like it's like if I
Yeah,
go back
true.
to what I was at
True.
before, we would probably be in the I'd probably be in the 70s. But yeah, it's
Yep.
been a lot of shows over the years.
Harrisburg will be my 10th.
Yeah. Yeah.
Stacking them up.
Well, and honestly, I think for me, I really like this show. The setting up and the tearing down can be the grinding
yeah.
part.
Yeah, that we were going to talk a little bit
Yeah,
about.
that's
this.
the
It's
grind.
like,
That's the grinding
oh,
part.
yeah, man.
Yeah, that's the grinding part. Because, you know, like, the traveling there, it's kind of like, oh man, we got a lot in front of us, and now we got to set up, and now it's like the stress of, are we going to get there in time, and what do we got to do, and all this stuff. And then after, you just want to be home.
Yeah.
So that can be kind of the travel can be grinding, and then the setting up, and there's just so many things, and like electricity, and like we have to have internet, and then like how do we get in, and this place will let you drive in, this place won't, and this guy told me we could drive in, but that guy says you can't, and then you're getting yelled at, and like you didn't mean to do anything wrong, and then like and
other people doing the exact same thing.
everybody else doing the exact same thing, and then when you brought a cart, and then all of a sudden the cart got stolen, and like where did our cart go, and like there's just a lot of things, and like
man,
it's if there was one word for setup, it's just like boxes. Boxes everywhere. Everybody's got boxes. It's crazy how many boxes there are.
Boxes, tape,
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah. And then the thing I'd say about tearing down, if there was one thing I could say about that is everybody is in such a hurry. And it's crazy because it takes like 2 to 3 days of setup opportunity for everybody to get all set up because everybody's schedules and when they can fly in and when it works for them, they're traveling in. Some people try to set up early. Some people set up like literally like a half hour before the show starts. We try to set up not the first person there, but we don't want to be the last person. We like to kind of, if there's a beginning, middle, and end, we like to be towards the end of the beginning or the beginning of the middle. That's when we like to set up right there. Sweet spot where you can get in, you can take your time. Because when it gets to be towards the middle and the end, everything's rushed.
Yeah, exactly.
When are you going to move your van? When are you going to move that? When are you going to do that? I need to get down this aisle. Everybody's like, nobody's caring about anybody but themselves. It's narrow focus.
Yeah.
It gets to be stressful.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. And then, then that's what it is. It's this big, just like flurry. The end, 90% of the people are gone within an hour.
Yep.
It's so crazy.
Like
Days to set up, 90% gone in an hour.
it's unreal. I mean, people just boom. Remember the I think this year was the last day of Harrisburg, but the Eagles were in the Super Bowl that night,
Oh, yeah.
and that was funny because I mean, people were just gone.
Gone. Eagles in the Super Bowl in Pennsylvania, people were gone. Not
And
only vendors, but like the consumers
It
were
was
gone.
super slow. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, so it's crazy because like the tearing down, it just goes so fast. My whole thing with tearing down, though, I think what we figured out over the years is you can either do it one of two ways. You can do it sweaty or not sweaty.
I was literally just gonna say that.
Yep. And that's my number one rule when we tear down. Here's the deal, guys. You can work as fast as you want. Don't break a sweat.
Yeah.
If you're breaking a sweat, slow down.
Yep.
We're going to be the second, third, last ones out of here anyway. We're not
Yeah.
leaving today anyway.
Yeah.
Like Iowa, we drive back, but it's still only like an hour and a half. So let's not break a sweat.
Yeah.
Like, let's just not break a sweat. So we try to, because again, when you start sweating, you start working fast and you start breaking things. And when you break things, then all of a sudden the next show, it's broken.
Yeah.
When you break it, then it's broken next time. Then I have to deal with this next time. So let's just not break it at all.
Well, even how you pack the van, or how
Yes.
because you kind of like Cole has a very good way of Cole's really good at packing the van. He could be a world record Tetris player, I believe.
Yeah.
But it's like, when you get done with one show, you have to be thinking ahead. Okay, let's pack it like this. So when we get back, we can pull this box out, and then you know what I mean?
Yeah, because all of a sudden, if we bury the carpet all the way in the front, we have to take out half the van to get to the carpet.
Yeah.
Or our display boxes.
Yep.
We gotta, they have to go in a certain way, and I want to try to get it so I could just try to just pull those out, if we can.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot to it in trying to how you pack, because a lot of times you'll see, it's like the old a guy said this to me years ago, and I always remember that they were packing up beside us, and he goes, because he saw how we were kind of like going slow and steady, and he's like, that's what we should do. He's like, we do the old throw and go method.
Yeah.
I'm like, throw and go. He goes, yep, we throw it in the truck, and we just go. Throw and go, man. Figure it out all later. And I'm like, we ain't doing that. But that's what a lot of people do. They do the old throw and go. They just throw it, get out of here. Okay, so yeah, let's talk about that. The other thing I was going to say is honorable mention of some shows to think about going to. Like if you're listening to this and you're like, you talked all about this and that and this and that, which shows would you go to? Like if I was just a consumer, if I was just a guy that a couple buddies, or I was looking to do something with my wife or your girlfriend or husband or boyfriend, whatever it might be, and you're like, I want to go to a show, which would I go to? Again, from a whitetail perspective or a Midwest hunting, Midwestern perspective, I think the show to go to is NWTF.
Yeah.
From a pure like enjoyment perspective. The other thing I didn't talk about earlier that's so cool about NWTF is the location. It's at this Opryland Resort, which is this huge, it's right near Grand Ole Opry, the new Grand Ole Opry building. Okay, there's a big mall there. There's lots of places to eat. But the cool thing about that Opryland Resort is there's like multiple rooms in it. There are planetariums. There's palm trees. There's waterfalls. There's a river. There's boats that float down the river. It's hard to even comprehend how big it is.
Right.
If you can imagine how big the convention center would have to be, the Opryland Resort and these planetariums dwarf how big the convention center is. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. There's full buildings inside the building. These planetariums, there's full buildings. There's like this walkway with like a street, like a little main street with buildings. There's full buildings. Like you walk in, it's like, oh, it's a full building in the building. Like it's like hard to even, it's so insane. And all the plants, and there's fish in the river, and all the plants are real. They're not fake. They're real. You're like looking at these palm trees and all this stuff. It is incredible. There's these walkways that are elevated that you can walk on from one to the next. And then there's rooms around all of it. Like to figure out where your room is you could get lost.
Yeah.
There's unbelievable restaurants all inside this huge, big facility. So NWTF is really something to see.
Yeah.
The other thing that I would say, I've never been to this, but this would be another one right up that same alley. SCI.
Oh, yeah.
Is at the same place now.
Yep.
Yeah, Nashville, I think, it seems like a lot of the consumer shows and trade shows in years past had really landed in Vegas. Mm-hmm. And when you get into a lot of different other industries, there are still a ton of trade shows in Vegas, right? Like, and the SHOT Show's in Vegas.
Yep.
My wife and I years ago went to Vegas for just a trip. We'd never been. So we went, and I don't know where I heard this, but somebody's like, oh, you ought to go to this place. And when we stayed at the Bellagio, and they have a barber, and he does like shaves and fades and a shave and all this. And it was not cheap, but I scheduled an appointment, and it was like, so I walk into this salon, and I like walk in, and it was like a salon, not for men. And I'm like, ew, like I'm like looking at a thing. I'm looking at my phone. I'm like, am I in the right place? Like this may not be right. And this guy walks up. He's like, are you? He's like, are you Cole? I'm like, yeah. Hey, come on this way. We go in the back, and he like opens this door, and it's like this sweet barbershop in the back of the salon. He like opens the door. We walk in, close it behind him. He's like, yeah, you probably thought you're in the wrong place, right? I'm like, yeah. He goes, you're good now. TVs.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Would you like something to drink? He's like, you want a beer? You want this? You want this? You want this? I was like, oh, let's take like And he's like, do you want a beer? I'm like, no. And he's like, oh, we got this root beer. And I was like, sure, I'll have a root beer. So like all this stuff. And then like, you know, so I don't know how I got on that subject. Oh, we were talking about, you know, just Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, he was talking about it. He's like, oh yeah, man, we're in the, and it was in December. And he's like, that's when we went. And he goes, oh yeah, we're just coming out of, and we're right in the middle of the show season. There's like a big like concrete show. It's like a concrete.
Crazy.
He called it like this concrete show. You could probably look it up. It's like it's about concrete.
Huh.
And it's like this construction type thing. And it's like insane. There's all these tech trade shows that are there that will just blow your mind.
Oh yeah.
The SHOT Show is there. There's all these industries, right? So like Vegas is set up for that.
That's so crazy.
And then there's everywhere you can eat in the world, and then you can gamble and all this stuff.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's really incredible. But
That's sweet.
But what I was going to say is like, so a lot of people have settled on Vegas, but the other place that's gaining popularity is Nashville.
Yeah.
Problem about Vegas is so far away,
Right.
you know, whereas Nashville, especially if you're in the Midwest, is more centrally located.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think Nashville is really has come on, and that Opryland Resort is a gem.
Yeah.
And just how it's just everything all in one.
Yeah.
You don't ever have to leave. You can park your car and you don't have to leave the entire weekend if you don't want.
Yeah.
You can get food, you can go to the show, you can get entertained. There's all sorts of stuff. It is all right there.
Right.
Opryland is right, literally it's a walk away. It's incredible.
Yeah.
So I really like Harrisburg. If I was a guy just going to the show, NWTF is one to really, really check out. And again, Harrisburg is something that you got to see.
Mm-hmm.
That's an incredible. That's really that's one that you just it would be an insanely big day, but you could do it in a day.
For sure.
Yeah,
You for sure.
and you could do NWTF in a day too. All of
Yeah.
these could be done in a day. It's
Yeah.
just the fact that it's kind of cool to be there.
Yeah.
Where NWTF is like a thing that you could experience the whole time and go to different things as it's happening. You could do that at Harrisburg too, but
Yeah.
you could get it in a day if you needed to.
Yeah.
But yeah, Harrisburg, you got to experience. You know, I think sometimes we get too close to the Iowa Deer Classic because I've gone to it since I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
But we do see a lot of people that travel in for the Iowa Deer Classic. The Iowa Deer Classic seems like a really cool thing to do if you're a guy that's drawing a tag in Iowa that year.
For sure.
You see guys every year. Oh man, I just drew with 5 points. Man, I just drew with 4 points, and I'm hunting public land, and I'm just here kind of doing a little recon.
Yeah.
The outfitter that I'm hunting with is here, or some guys that I know, and they told me to come, and they just want to kind of experience the full gravitas that is Iowa.
Yeah, exactly.
That is the Iowa Deer Classic.
Yep.
So the Iowa Deer Classic is a really cool one. You know, the other one that I would mention that you hear so much about in the West is the Western Sportsman's Expo.
Yep.
That's in Salt Lake City.
Yep.
You hear a lot of people talk about that. It's incredibly hard from a vendor perspective to get into. They have an incredibly huge, long waiting list to even get a booth inside. You know what I mean? Like to get in the door. And that sounds like that is the Iowa Deer Classic of the West.
Right.
That show sounds like it's just absolutely insane. I'd heard a lot of people talk about the sheep show.
Right.
And so that's another one that's pretty fun. The thing about the sheep show that makes that really interesting is the banquets in the evening.
Yeah.
And how much money is just
Running
figuratively
through there.
and like non-figuratively just being thrown around.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's hard to, they sold a sheep tag last year for over $1 million.
That's so insane, dude.
Auctioned it off,
so
auctioned up to
insane.
$1 million.
Like you can't even really just like, it's just crazy to think. That's just so much.
Well, especially if you're like us, you know, dumb country folk from the flyover states, our banquets when we were kids and growing up, and even now still are Pheasants Forever banquets, Ducks Unlimited. And it's like, yeah, but here we're auctioning off this gun, and it goes for
shotgun for $250.
Yeah, it goes for maybe $1,000
Yeah.
because it was the money goes to this good cause or something, and somebody bids it up, and you're like, whoa, man, that thing went for $1,000.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that thing went for $3,000, $5,000, whatever it is. Like, oh, they auctioned off this really cool goose hunt for 5 people, and it went for $5,000, or oh, they had that hunt, they had a moose hunt, it went for $20,000, or wow, that was a chunk of money.
Yeah.
And then you go to that,
Million
and there's like
bucks.
nothing on the auctions that even goes for 20,000. That's not even like where it starts.
That's crazy.
It's just insane. So those banquets are really incredible.
Yeah, I bet.
And that's kind of what I wanted to experience. Was I was like,
Mhm.
okay, and like in all these types of shows that we're talking about, there's that industry or that type of crowd, that community.
Yeah.
And like the sheep show has their community. The Western Sportsman's Expo has that Western market,
Yeah.
that Western consumer, that community. The Iowa Deer Classic,
Yep.
it's the same thing.
Yep.
Harrisburg
Same thing.
is the same thing. Dixie,
Yep.
same thing. It's like
NWTF for sure.
NWTF,
Yeah.
holy cow,
Yeah.
is the exact same thing.
Yeah.
It's that turkey hunting community.
Mhm.
And so it's just, and that's what I think is so fun about the consumer shows as a
Yeah.
whole, is the passion, no matter what community it is,
Mhm.
the passion that you see and you hear when you're there.
Yeah.
And that's what's so fun, I think, even for us. We're passionate about what we're doing too. And so it's fun to be able to be there and interact with other vendors and just people walking in and just talk to them about that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's interesting.
One of the shows that I was gonna say that's kind of different is the St. Paul Ice Show,
There you go.
ice fishing show. It's pretty
Yeah.
cool. It's huge and
Well, and what is the other one that I'm sorry to interrupt you, but the one that the cast, there's something iCast or something. That's a big fishing show.
oh yeah, ICAST. It's kind of like the ATA
There
of
you
the
go.
fishing industry.
And then there's like the
Bassmaster Classic.
Bassmaster
is
Classic.
is a show too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. There's so many.
Yeah, it's
Well,
crazy.
And National Final Rodeo, they have the cowboy.
Yeah, FR.
They call it the Cowboy Christmas.
Yep. That's right.
I saw a guy.
That'd be kind of cool to go to.
We actually booked that.
Really?
Oh yeah, and then
When?
years ago. It was probably in 2018.
No way.
Yeah, or 2019, and then we decided at the last minute not to go.
That would be kind of cool.
And it's in Vegas. I saw a guy this year that was standing. He was on social media and he was like standing at like the door leading out of the Cowboy Christmas,
Mm-hmm.
and there was like people standing there with like cocktails, and he's like, "Oh yeah, ma'am, how much did you spend?
I seen this.
How much you
dude.
spend at the Cowboy Christmas?" And the one girl's like, $3,000. It's like, "Oh okay." It's just like, "How much did you spend, ma'am?" And it was like,
Something crazy.
yeah, like $280,000 or something.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, like it was huge amounts of money. And then like the other guy's like, she's like, "I'll tell you, but I'll whisper it to you." And she whispered it. And he's like, "Oh my goodness, what did you buy?" You know, and it's insane. Like,
Well, I mean, like you look at like a cowboy hat down there, they're like $1,500 dang near.
well, dude, okay. When I was at the sheep show last year, they were selling Marco Polo hunts and also snow sheep, which those are two different types of sheep. Those hunts, they had a little deal. There's one booth, and they were from Mongolia, and they had a sheet right at the front that showed like the details of the hunt. Hunt was $250,000.
Not even an auction, just like, yeah, that's the price.
Oh, there was a guy that I talked to last year that was selling at the sheep show that was selling stone sheep hunts. It makes me feel more words even thinking about it, for $100,000. Man. So
It's insane.
yeah. So I mean, there's like at some of these types of like money gets thrown around. Think about
Oh,
like
yeah.
the SHOT Show.
Yeah.
Think about, I mean, any of them, right? There's expensive things at all of them.
Mm-hmm.
And
Crazy.
I mean, there's expensive things at Harrisburg.
Boats.
Boats. I mean, we walked through those bass boats. Like we walked up to one, and I'm like, put my hand on it. And I'm like, I see the price like $74,000. Like,
Yeah.
okay, I better
88
not touch. I
grand.
better not touch that one. You know, what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, dang. And
Yeah.
there's people that are looking at them that
Oh,
are
yeah.
talking to the salesperson,
Yep.
and that are. Oh, I mean, and here's the thing. Everybody's got their thing.
Yeah.
No different than you and I. Probably look at us and be like, wow, you guys spend money on that? Like, okay.
Exactly.
But that's the thing. The trade shows are the consumer shows and trade shows are a really cool thing. But yeah, like I said, NWTF, Harrisburg, Iowa, Western Sportsman's Expo will be really something cool to experience. SCI in Nashville,
Mhm.
Sheep Show.
Yeah.
Again, yeah, there's just it could just be really, really exciting. And that's even kind of leads into look at what they did this year with the ATA.
Yep.
right? They had the ATA show. That's always been a trade show. It hasn't been open to the public.
Mm-hmm.
It was always kind of this coveted thing that you had to have a certain pass to get in. You just couldn't walk in.
Yeah.
You know, it just wasn't open to the public. And then now they did this bow hunting and archery super show
yeah.
after the trade show kind of ended when they made it open to the public. So they had already had everybody there.
Yeah.
And then they let the public in.
Yep.
Part of the reason they never did that before is because the trade shows are meant to be selling to the retailers. Right. And that's why they never did it, because then if you open it up to the public, then the manufacturer that just sold his product to the retailer is now selling his product to the consumer.
Exactly.
Which is taking business away from the retailer.
Right.
And that's why they were always differentiating that.
Yeah.
So I would have liked to have been the fly on the wall in the office when people came in and complained about that. But that's the world we live in now, right? Like it's changing. It's not what it was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Where, we've got the internet and we've got what we do, and we all buy from retailer. The retailers are the manufacturers, just like us, you know.
Right.
So, but yeah. So there's things that are happening.
Mm-hmm.
If they did that to the SHOT Show, I would love to go.
Yeah, that'd be
I would
interesting.
love to just see it. I would love to experience it, see all the guns and all the stuff, and just how big it is.
Yeah.
I would love to see it. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, there's some really fun ones out there.
Yeah.
And the other thing that's really cool about consumer shows is it's a great time of year, just like us yesterday. Little bummed, little butthurt that the season's over, looking for something fun to do, looking to lift the spirits, looking to get a little bit of fire.
Scratchy itch a little bit.
Yep, let's get something that's going to get us a little motivated. And all of a sudden you go to those and you're like, okay, let's do this. Now I'm back. Now I'm locked in again. This is awesome. It's really nice to be able to get excited again.
Yep.
You know, because again, hunting season may be the certain hunting dates, but you can think about hunting 365,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
All right, that's a good way to wrap it up.
Yep.
All right, Ozonics Killerwinds podcast, another one in the books. The Nuke, me, over and out.
See you next week.
Stay classy.